Welcome back to the channel, my lovelies. How are you? I'm just out for a wander. What's in today's video? Well, if you recall the last video, well, the video that was out on Thursday evening. Yeah, Thursday evening. How much can you save living in a motorhome or a camper van or whatever? Well, this video is a follow-on to Thursday's video. So if you haven't seen Thursday's video, please go back and have a look. Because this one ties in with it. And there's a beautiful lady from America. I was watching a channel. She's 77 years old. 77. And living full-time, I think, in a cargo wagon. And the same problems she's finding over there as we're getting here. Our young being forced into motorhomes, the elderly being forced into motorhomes. I mean, it just rung so true with me, and that's a different country, that's America. Please listen to this lady and what she has to say, because I'm sure you're all going to want to jump on her channel just to have a look to see how the old lady's doing. I mean, 77 years old. Unbelievable. An unbelievable way that these people, these governments, can treat their people, us. And we're all going through the same. We're all going through the same. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Now this lovely lady is only highlighting what I've already said on my channel. It's happening everywhere, people. I mean, people living in cars. I've seen that. You Vanlifers have seen people living in cars. How bad does it have to get before those in charge sort their fucking lives out and give us a break? Treated like shit. All of us, mate. We're sheep. They're herding us up. We're about as valuable to them as a chicken. Well, I don't know about that. They can milk us more, can't they? And they obviously do. Anyway, lovelies, I hope you enjoy this lady's speech and have a listen to the end. Do me a favour. You know, these are words of wisdom this lady's telling us. But I'll leave you with some beautiful, stunning views from where I am, from where I'm standing. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. We've got some clouds blowing in. What a view. I'll turn you around. I'll be back after this beautiful soul has been on and told us her story. See you in a minute. Please check her channel out, guys.
I don't know of anybody at 17 who said, my life goal is to live in a van when I'm in my 70s. That was never a plan, nor was it a goal. We weren't really thinking at 17 what our senior years would be about. We didn't know if we'd make it or not. So, I get the question all the time, why are you living in a van? Now, people who know me understand, but there are so many reasons why. If anybody out there doesn't understand we have a cost of living crisis, just look on YouTube, because there's videos everywhere every day talking about inflation, talking about rent, talking about tax increases, talking about insurance increases. If you were smart enough and you paid for your house, you still may have problems. You have maintenance, you have insurance, you have taxes, you have all kinds of things attached to that house. And seniors have a lot of anxiety, by the way, and we worry about this stuff. But the reasons why I'm living in a rolling mini apartment, is what I call it, are many. The first thing was, after I retired, I never stopped working because Social Security isn't enough money. And most of my life, I've lived on a survival basis where you work 2 and 3 jobs, you live from paycheck to paycheck, and you were lucky if you bought a house, and I did. I did. But things happened, and I lost those houses. Life happens. It just does. So, when I reached my 70s, I had just had 2 cancers. Working at KFC, I had to quit. They wouldn't give me the hours for radiation. Then I started driving for Uber. Had to make money. But after the 2 cancers, I had to really sit down and think, what's going to happen when I can't work? How am I going to pay my rent? My rent was going up every year. When I first moved in, it was $5, $10 a year. And by the time I left, it was a couple $100 a year, going up every single year. You're on a fixed income. Social Security wasn't going up that much. No. Then, here's inflation. Wasn't as bad. It was 5 years ago. I've been in the van 5 years. But I was very concerned about my health issues. And I thought, I'm sitting here waiting to die. What's the next health issue? Constantly concerned about money. And I was watching videos, and I saw videos on Vanlife. Now, before I even saw that, I was scammed out of my mobile home. Nothing that anyone could have helped. There were many of us. And the state closed down the mobile home park because they were selling mobile homes they had no titles for. And you'd make payments for so many years and you'd get the title. You weren't getting the titles. So I moved into a minivan. And I parked on KFC lot for 2 years in this minivan with a cooler, a fan, a battery-operated fan, and a Chase lounge mattress on the floor. Took all the seats out, and that's how I lived. 2 years. Didn't seem to mind at all. Kind of liked it. Wasn't tough. It wasn't bad. So, I got my apartment. Like the expectation is, everybody expects you to get an apartment. I got on a list to get into senior housing. I don't know how many years. That was 2011. I'm still waiting. They keep putting me down further and further on the list. I think I'm gone completely by now unless I go every other year and relist, which I did for several years, and I became frustrated with the process. There's always someone worse off than you, and you get kicked down one more level on the list. Section 8 was 8 years wait. I mean, I checked everything out. Senior housing, much of it I couldn't afford. So the decision was, how are you going to live? Right now, you're healthy, but you don't know what's going to happen. And when you can't work, what are you going to do? Can't work. What are you going to do? So seriously, during COVID, I was driving for Uber and Lyft. Halfway through it, I just couldn't make even $200 a month, maybe $300. I couldn't pay my bills. I wasn't making the $1,000 or $1,200 a month I was before. I finally went on unemployment, not realizing for sure I could do it. That helped out. That unemployment and that check that they sent us, that one check I got, helped me get a van. I had made up my mind I was going to buy a cargo van. I didn't want to take seats out. I didn't want something like that. I was going to get a cargo van. And I'd seen all these build-outs. Surely, I could do a build-out. And I put a little red bow on it, and I said, my last adventure. And that's what I believe it is. Since then, as you know, 4 or 5 months ago, I had open heart surgery. Still in my van. I came in my van 2 months after the surgery. This is not a difficult lifestyle, but it was not something I dreamed about. Something I said, well, this is what I'm going to do when I get old. I don't think nobody's thinking that way. But it's not just seniors. It's not just seniors. I'm meeting young couples living in cars because they can't afford the rent. They barely can afford food. In a van, you still have your utilities. And utilities, I mean by propane or butane, however you heat, however you control the temperature in your van. That's utilities. And I just still pay them. You still have to buy water. Now the one thing I don't pay for is dumpsters. But I ask permission to use businesses' dumpsters, and I do get permission from them. I do have solar. I knew I wanted electricity. I wanted some comforts of a home. I have a toilet. I have a small kitchen. It's a mini rolling apartment. You still have to maintain your vehicle, which is your rent. You know, you have to maintain it. If you have a car payment, that's part of your rent. It's almost the same thing, except you're on wheels. Did they make these to live in? No, they didn't. But I can't afford an RV. And I certainly couldn't afford to drive one and maintain one. They're way too expensive. I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money. So, it's just, I know my generation, we were taught to have independence and work for independence. Be self-sufficient. Don't give up. And work for everything that you have. Nothing is free in life. That's what we were taught. Things have changed, haven't they? Lots of. Now it seems that everybody is entitled. I don't feel that way. I don't feel I'm entitled. I do feel I have paid taxes up until 76. I quit working at 76. I'm now 77. I'll be 78 this year. 78. Almost 78 right now. I'm getting close. And I've always worked. I started at 16 as the little car hop. And I mean, it just went on and on. Never stopped. So 60 years of working. I did pay taxes. I have paid taxes. I have worked for the community in many different areas. I have tried to give back to society. And seniors are in a crisis, but they're not the only ones. I see TikTok. I see all these people crying on videos saying, I can't afford food. I can't afford rent. This is an alternative. Maybe not the best alternative in the world. And everybody goes, oh, but seniors, anybody who lives, it's just not just seniors. It's just harder for seniors. We're not as flexible. We're not as healthy. We have to see doctors. It is what it is, guys. You can't explain everything in life that happens to you, but you just keep going. You just keep going. So I was always told nobody owed me anything. Not even fairness. The boss told me that. And if I wanted anything, I had to earn it. And that's what I've done all my life. So living in a van has been comfortable. It has its issues. It always will. It's not made for living, but you can make it work. And that's the other thing my generation does, make things work. We make things work just for us. Well, I don't know what more I can tell you. I have so many new people. I just put a bow on it. Whatever it is, whatever hardship, whatever life throws at me, I put a bow on it and I give it a different name and I keep going. It's called survival. And who knows how many years I'll be in the van. I planned for 5, hoping I could save enough money, but again, van in life is not cheap. And I did start a YouTube channel, as you all know, making a little bit of money, which helps me. But is it easy? After 5 years, it's pretty easy for me. It's my preferable way to live at this point. I know that, my health is getting worse. And yes, I'm eventually going to have to get out of it. And I have an end goal, but we'll see. We'll see if I reach that goal. So this is just a simple explanation of what is happening. I'm not the first senior. I won't be the last senior. There are thousands every day finding they can't pay their rent. They can't afford the food. And it's just going to get worse. It's not going to get better for a long time. I don't know how bad it's going to get. Nobody does. But it's going to be a long time before it gets better. Before rents are changed, before inflation. With everything that's going on, don't expect tomorrow to be any different. But you just have to look at it as, how do I make this work for me? And van life has worked for me as a senior. I am content and I am at peace. And I am comfortable in my van with my little dog. I thank you for watching. I hope you will subscribe. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Please watch my videos, like, and share. I'll see you next time.
Well, my lovelies, I hope you've enjoyed this one. That lovely soul, that lady, gave me permission to use her video on my channel. So I did ask her if I could use it. I mean, that's resilience right there. Speechless, mate. 77 years old. She's had a hard life. And it's never got any easier from day one. And there's a lot of people out there exactly the same that are forced into the situation. Yes, it looks an idyllic lifestyle. Obvious. It's an alternative lifestyle. But could you do it? If you had to do it, you would do it. It's as simple as that. I mean, she's just an amazing lady. And there's lots of people like that out there. They don't get to tell their story. You don't understand or know even what's going on. But in England, the van life community is fantastic. Like I say, I've not met a bad person yet. So there is help out there. I mean, we're lucky in this country. I mean, if it gets so bad that I can't get out the van, or you can't get out the van, or whatever, there is always help there. Always help there. In America, It's different. It's the generation that knows how to skimp, save, not borrow, try to pay their way through life. They've got morals, nothing but admiration and love for the lady. You know, she's managing. She's managing, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. She's forced into a situation, not like a lot of us who have chose it, you know, have chosen this lifestyle or been forced into this lifestyle. You know, there's a difference. But like she said, she can cope with it. She looks on the bright things in life, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, could you do it? Anyway, my lovelies, in the comments, if you wouldn't mind, you know, did you know that sort of thing was going on? You obviously know about Vanlife, but when people look at Vanlife, it's glamorised. Most of the time it's glamorised. And yeah, please, if you would, in the comments, do you think you could cope with it? Do you think you could survive? Well, you'd have to. You've got morals. We're all fighters. We've had to fight for everything through life. We've all been robbed through life, through taxes, and kept down. You know, and to end up at that lady's age, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. No compassion in the world. No common sense in the world. Anyway, my lovelies, that's a bit of a downer to this little series of what it's like living in a motorhome. But it's experience. It's viewing what other people are going through. And it's an eye-opener. It should be an eye-opener to most of you. You know, it's not as idyllic as they make out to be. Anyway, my lovelies, I'm off. And I'll see you on the next one. I love you all to bits. Thank you for the new subscribers who have jumped on to help the channel out and give me a little bit of support. Thank you very much. I love you all to bits. And I'll see you on Wednesday. I love you to bits. You all take care. And I'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da for now.